All right, here we are in a beautiful San Diego, California morning. Actually at the top of Mount Helix, or near the top of Mount Helix in La Mesa, California, looking at a very nice old school retro rod. Some would call it a resto mod. It's an all steel 30 Model A. The current owner has owned this car and actually built it more than 40 years. It had a lot of old school stuff on it. Pete and Jake's front end, early day stuff. Small block 289 Ford with Shelby Cobra stuff on it. Actually, it's not perfect, but you wouldn't want it any other way. It's very sweet, has a lot of paint on it. We're going to go around and we're going to cover some of that. It was restored by the owner and Tom Considine, a known builder here, and painted by, let me get it here, I have a note deal here, Mark Lewick. In 1980 is when the paint was put on the car. It's 2 gallons of hand-rubbed Porsche Indian red lacquer. So there's a lot of coats of Indian red lacquer on this car, and it's been on the car since the 80s. Do a little walk around here. We'll kind of touch on things. We're actually going to just let you take it in, but it is all steel. Those are actually Model A headlamps. Take this from me there. Steel. Does have a lot of paint on it. I believe the painter said he put 50 coats on it. Sometimes they exaggerate just a little bit way back in the day, but there's a lot of coats on it. Let's see here. Pinstriping. Running boards. A lot of the stuff that you see is stuff that they did back in the 70s and 80s. They chromed the door hinges, and you'll see when we get to the undercarriage, they chromed the rear end on it and a lot of the front end components. Those are original true spoke wheels from the 80s. They're near perfect. He's kept wax on them. They're beautiful. Even the tires are from the 80s, I believe. They look pretty good. Louvers on the hoods actually have a pinstripe on them also. The finish on this car, there's very little lacquer checking anywhere. I think I noticed 1 or 2 spots. I'll try and show you where it is. It's settled nicely over the years. It's kept right in the garage here, you see. I'll give you a view of the overlook this car's had for a few years. Chrome grille. They tried to keep the exterior of these cars looking pretty stock, but they gave it a lot of bling. Of course, they didn't call it bling back then. Just called it show chrome. Nice cowl lights on it. Hey Gib, are those the turn signals now actually? Okay. The top is not chopped. It's a Model A top. Has these wind wings in it with the flowers and petals in it and leaves. It's very cool. I'm going to step back and let you take a look here at it one more time. Try and keep the glare off it. Again, the true spoke wheels. There's a pinstriping down the fenders here, down the leading edge of the fenders, and then following on the running boards. What you're gonna really love, which I really like, is this upholstery. I'm gonna give you a pretty good peek of it, but we'll give you some door jamb stuff here. These are Model A doors, Model A steel. Early wool carpet. Oh, okay, great. I always get input from the owner here, and I like it. He's right with me. I'll cover a couple things he wants to point out. But look at this upholstery. It's just, I mean, I don't think you could find it on the shelf anywhere. It's very nice button tuck. much like they were done back in the day, but just neat. Car has a 32 Ford commercial dash in it, commercial pickup dash. The miles, you'll see the early Stewart Warner gauges hidden behind a plexiglass, plexiglass glass. I like that from one of my videos, and sometimes I get tongue-tied, but 8,307 miles. You want some early dice? There's some early dice. Looks like a Model T style steering wheel, am I correct, Gib?
Yes.
Okay. That's actually brass.
Mr. Roadster.
Mr. Roadster is where it came from. Doors shut nice. This car would be a gas to drive with the Shelby equipped 289 and C4 automatic transmission and Mustang rear end. Just kind of giving you a feel. The body panels are straight. Again, you're going to find age and patina, but nothing worth talking about. You know, just a little, that's not even a chip. Just a little spot here and there if I do find one. Again, pinstripe along the belt lines here. The canvas top is nice. Just a cute car. And it is a rumble seat. We'll have pictures of the video. Marked 1980. Those are 1980 pinstripes. So it goes to date the build for you. We are going to have undercarriage video and all that kind of stuff for you, but we're going to give you just a little peek here. Okay, yeah, the rear end in it is an early Ford 8-inch Positrack with 355 gears. I didn't cover that on the undercarriage video, so it's a good time to cover it now. Thanks, Gib. Those initials on the license plate are actually that of the owner. Fits very well. Gem 30A. There's a 1930 license plate. The wind's picked up a little bit, so we might have a little bit of a noise in the video. The only fender where I see a little bit of lacquer check is on this left rear, but it's really, you can't even see it. I'm just being Spudman, which I am sometimes just way too picky. Again, the beltline stripes, how they come along into here, and they flow across the nose, up the nose, and then across the hood. Nice little door pockets in the map style or registration style. If you're looking for a cute car that's fun to drive, I actually fit in it. I'm a big guy, but a super big guy may have a problem with it, but I'm 6'1" and 200 pounds, but I fit in it well enough to drive it. I can get in it without being too much of a contortionist. You're not going to be doing a super amount of driving with a car like this anyway. You're going to take it to a show and you're going to tell people this car was restored in the 70s. And they will not believe it. And with the prior owner of 40 years, it's kind of a special occurrence for somebody. I'm going to sit in here. Just back my tail in there. We'll give you another view. There's a C4 shifter, which is actually out of a Mustang. It looks like a Mustang shifter. It has a Mustang steering column in it. Again, 8,307 miles on it. Where they did the upholstery into the dash there. Across the cowl here is kind of neat. There is a wiper motor that is included, a Model A wiper motor. It is wired for it right here. Anyway, look at the view there across the hood of this. This car's been parked in the garage, backed in where you see it. And every time it peeked its head out, it's looking over the San Diego Valley. Anyway, it was kind of a fun photo shoot and video. Had a great time visiting with a customer. We're going to start it up for you and hang on to the end of the video. You're definitely go to spudsgarage.com for more photos. We really appreciate you visiting. Start it right up. The only question I have for you, are you going to be the next owner for 40 years or next caretaker, as I would call you? About time to get in. Hang on to the end of the video. Let's take a look under the hood here. Very, very neatly done. A Ford and a Ford. Imagine that. We're on the passenger side. We're going to have to lift up the hood on both sides. Again, this car was built in the mid to late 70s and completed right around 1980. Has a lot of early vintage speed stuff on it. There's a vintage Cobra intake manifold. They're known not to be reproductions by the owner. Looks like an S7MS 9424A Shelby intake manifold or Ford Cobra. Kind of neat. See a lot of neat stuff when I'm doing my job. That has an original Shelby Cobra hammerhead oil pan. We'll take a better look at that when we do the undercarriage video. The entire chassis, you're going to end up in the back. The chassis is pinstriped all along here. This is kind of 70s, 80s style, but the frame itself on the side and the back is pinstriped. It is a C4 automatic transmission. This is a 5-bolt 302. Or excuse me, 289. I wanted to say 302, but it's a 289 5-bolt bell housing, so it's a early 289. They did go to a 6-bolt. There's the trans cooler right there. There's the C4 automatic transmission. It does have a solid cam valve train in it. You can hear it. We'll fire it up here in just a moment when we go over to the other side. And pretty much there you have it. We'll go to the other side of the engine. Here we are over on the driver's side. Just a second ago we covered the other side. You can only do the hoods one side at a time. Cover a couple things we didn't cover on the other side. Obviously 12-volt alternator there. Kind of give you a feel. There's brake light switch. The wiring is actually very tidy. It does have a Mustang steering box. Distributors right there. Does have a chrome indexed crankshaft harmonic balancer or dampener, whatever you'd like to call it. A lot of neat little touches on this car. Again, there's the pinstriping on the chassis before it was assembled. Kind of a neat thing. These are Cobra components, which we talked about on the other side. But what's kind of neat is he had an air filter that came off a dual carb car, and he actually shortened it to fit a single carb. You can't really see it, but they had taken a section out and brought it together and made it a nice little oval, which is kind of neat. So 70s ingenuity is what that is. That's what I'd call that. The headers look like they're custom fabricated a little bit to go around the Mustang steering box. Anyway, we're thinking you get the idea. We're going to fire it up and let you hear it here. It is solid lifter, 289 5-bolt bell housing, Shelby components. Okay, we've got it fired up now. It just reached in the door, turned the key, started that easy. You can hear the solids in it. It's healthy. The C4 has a shift kit in it, so it'll definitely do it to it. And in case you're curious, that's a AFB carburetor. I believe that's when Carter made them, not Edelbrock and not Weber. Here are the solids. All right, we'll look at the rumble seat area. It is a rumble seat. Remember, this gentleman's owned this car more than 40 years. Again, was part of the restoration back in the late 70s, completed 80. His kids have ridden in the back of this car. So it's part of the family. Now it's ready to be part of yours. All right, we're going to do a little undercarriage on it. Time Warp hot rod. This is an early Pete and Jake's 4-bar front end on it. It does have disc brakes on the front. Early hot rod magazines in the 70s talked about doing AMC disc brake conversions in the front. That's what this car has on it. So those are AMC disc brakes. Chrome shocks, chrome dropped axle, multi-leaf spring. Show you the disc brake right there. There's the Cobra oil pan. You get a good look at that. See the pinstriping on the frame that I've talked about when I was doing the engine compartment video? Cool. Does have a trans cooler, but it has the cooler oil pan on it, which allows air to pass through the tranny pan. It does have a chrome rear Ford rear end in it with a homemade 4-bar, chrome 4 bars. These are original steel fenders. Look at these tires, polyglass radials. Goodyear. They've been on there a few years, a few years to lightly. They are LR 7815 radials. Been a while since you heard that tire size. Chrome rear end. Nice chrome tailpipes on it. Buggy spring on the back there. Chrome shocks just like the front. Chamber mufflers. This car is all steel. Those headers are customized to fit it. There's the early Pete and Jake's 4-bar with a Mustang steering box, Mustang column. That's the way they used to do it. Anyway, too much fun. Thanks for coming. Go to spudsgarage.com for more still photos.